sound
Do I
good.
sound good?
Yes, you do.
We're going to talk on this new radio.
Hey, thanks for listening to Carmody Central. I'm your host, Jennifer Carmody, and today I have one of my favorite people who has the worst sock ever sticking out of his shoe. What is that?
You don't like my socks?
No, what is that? So I have Jim Norton.
They're Fila socks, and my parents...
Fila?
You know how usually my parents give me Christmas gifts?
Oh, I know. They like to give you socks and underwear and
Yes,
stuff
they
like
do.
that.
So these are a pair of my parents'
Because
socks.
you know what? You're the type of person that you don't know what to get you because anything you want, you're going to buy yourself.
Right.
So you're one of those people that's hard to get gifts for. However, with as many things as you buy yourself, you really don't buy socks and underwear much.
No, I
so
did buy
it's
some-
good that they do that for you.
I did buy some underwear from, what are they called? American Apparel. I have Twink underwear.
Why would you get underwear from there? What were you doing, like a private photo shoot?
No, I just wanted to get some comfortable
You just wanted to
boxer
like
briefs,
something really tight and
Yeah.
like something that would look good.
as I've lost weight, but I don't look like a twink in them. I look relatively awful.
What type of underwear is
Just
it?
regular color, like
Like boxer briefs?
yeah, regular boxer briefs, like I always wore.
They're tight?
No, not too
Tighter
tight.
than regular?
No,
like
they're-
Hanes,
I don't
obviously.
like tight things, you know. I don't like them. I like loose and comfortable. So they're snug, but they're not uncomfortable. I've been going through clothes as I've lost weight. I'm just giving away, $100 worth of clothes. I'm just giving them. I brought in clothes
Who
for
fits in your clothes that you know?
Opie. I
Ross?
bought size 2s, like these shirts, these James Purse shirts. I brought them into Opie, size 2. I can't wear them anymore.
Nice.
He's like, I'll pay you for them. I'm like, just take them. They had labels on them. I'm like, I don't fucking.
No, I
want 'em.
remember when you were buying the twos, and I kept telling you, don't get the two because you're going to not fit in them in a couple weeks. And you're like, yeah, but I don't want them to be I don't want them to not,
Yeah.
to be like grabbing you.
I
right?
bought size 0s, but I was a little ambitious. I'm not ready for them yet. Especially
Are you
since
planning on going down
Oh
to
yeah,
a zero?
yeah, absolutely.
So you're not done losing weight?
No. I mean, I'm still okay, but I got more to go.
Wow.
I should just get fucking lipo, get it over with.
I know. When I told my sister that we were going to do a podcast today, she's like, Jim is so skinny now. I just saw him in Long Island.
Oh, that was nice. Thank you.
Yeah, she's like, but everyone's saying that. Dude, like you go everywhere you go, people are obviously just commenting on your weight. Like you love it, right?
Yeah, I've even said it on stage. The part that gets addicting about losing weight is people start complimenting you, and that really helped me prevent putting it back on because I don't want the humiliation of people going, oh, like look at him, he's getting
Oh, the
fucking
disappointment.
fat again.
The disappointment when someone gains weight back is it actually hurts other people. When
Yeah.
you see your friends gain weight back, it's sad. You're like, fuck. I
Yeah.
thought they had it.
I just talked to a buddy of mine who had lost a lot of weight, and he put 20 back on. And he's a food addict, and he's like, I don't know what to. I'm like, just fucking stop the bleeding, lose the weight. You'll lose it in a few months, But it's hard. You put a few back in, and that shitty, sick thinking comes back. And
20 is a huge jump, though.
yeah.
20 is like,
Yeah.
that didn't sneak up on you.
No,
That's
not
like
at
you
all.
didn't give a fuck for like a year.
Yeah. No, not a year. He probably did it in 3 months.
What?
You can put a lot of weight on.
Damn.
You put weight on a couple. Sometimes I come off the road, I'm 5 pounds heavier.
No, 5 pounds is very like, it fluctuates because you can even take like, especially like the shits that you take, like you can take like a 5 pound shit.
Yeah, it's funny. Florentine used to play a game with his family and his roommates where they would fucking write down their weight and then go in and take a dump and then write down their weight to see who lost the most weight. And I've thought of that too. Is I've taken a few hefty ones there, like a day where I take like 3 fucking piping awful shits.
That was me today.
Oh, good ones.
Yeah, on the
always-
way over here.
It's always a nice, satisfying feeling, isn't it?
I know. That's why I was like, I'm going to wear a crop top because I just shit out like 8 pounds today.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a good thinning shit.
Yeah. But I mean, it's better obviously when it's like one piece. That is the most fulfilling ever.
Yeah, because you feel like you just got something done.
Yeah.
Although I'll be honest, I like a real soupy mess too.
Ugh.
I like that.
I don't have soupy. I say it's like a shit mountain.
Oh, those are the worst.
Those are the worst. They
Almonds
really are.
give me those.
That's what, ever since I've been vegetarian, it's just been shit mountain every
Yeah,
morning.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty
That
bad.
Fucking mealy, thick pile. Ugh. Yeah, they're horrible.
So I'm glad you're in LA.
Me too.
That's what I wanted to kind of talk about too. Some stuff like about like New York versus LA. Because like here, I feel like people are so like fake positive, and then in New York, people are so fake angry.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that everyone walking down the street is actually that pissed off. They're faking it.
I think it's in New York. It's a defense. I think what happens is because the humanity, there's so many people piled into such a small area that you learn that if you make eye contact or if you give a pleasant smile, the fucking sociopath you're dealing with is going to think that's weakness, or he's going to bother you for money. So you learn just to kind of keep your head down and just go fuck everybody. But it's not about being tough. It's just about being guarded and not being bothered, because, you know, you learn the hard way.
It is about being tough, because when New Yorkers are out of New York, they kind of bully everyone. So
you're used to dealing with that, again, that aggressive environment. You're used to it, you know, because if you don't, you get trampled.
Yeah.
Or if you don't drive quickly in New York, or if you don't go fast, everybody fucking honks at you and screams at you. There's so many people. It's like such a domino effect. One shit driver, and you know me behind the wheel, that's how I'm gonna die, by the way. It's not gonna be suicide like I've thought. It's gonna be me grabbing my chest and keeling over because of fucking
road rage. Because of fucking road rage, as
Absolutely.
usual.
Heart attack.
I've noticed that people here, even though there's a lot of traffic, do have less road rage.
Because there's drive-by shootings here. There's too many people are too afraid of drive-by shootings here. They're not as afraid of that in New York because there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You shoot somebody, you get stuck at the next light.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Here, they kill you and they drive away.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I think also, you know, it's just like, you know, you're in the car. There's such a far distance to go everywhere. It's crazy. Like in Manhattan, like when you said if I could get here by 6, like that's impossible. Like if it was Manhattan, then yeah, of course. But in LA, it's like it's impossible to get somewhere in 45 minutes not being ready already.
Well, you learn out here, like the reason people are mellower is the weather makes you in a better mood here.
I mean, there's nice stuff to look at.
There's nice stuff to look at, and you just get used to it. It's almost like subway delays in New York. A lot of the road rage.
Plus, you learn to let stuff go because people aren't on top of you all the time. You have a lot of, if you're out somewhere, there's not like so many people so close to you at all seconds.
Well, the road rage in here, a lot of times the road rage is happens when you're walking in New York too. The impatience and this shit. You just, you know, you deal with your subway delays, you deal with your taxi delays, and you just hear you deal with traffic. It is what it is. I love it out here. I used to hate it because people from the East Coast think we're supposed to hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
now everyone from the East Coast is moving here,
yeah.
and so many people from the West Coast are like tired of this, and they think they can handle New York, and they're probably going to go for a year and then come crying back.
Yeah,
because it's brutal.
Yeah, there's some guys that move out here, like Bill Burr. I remember when he moved out here, and it took him a while to get a foothold, but then he started getting film roles. He got Breaking Bad, which really changed his career. But he ate shit for a little while out here. You know, a lot of auditions, a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of guys. It's a hard jump to make.
Yeah.
A lot of guys wind up coming back. Like Bill made it and stayed out here and did the right thing. But a lot of guys come out here, and then a year later, I see him in the comedy saying, "What are you doing?" You know, I just came back, and I know I'd be one of the ones going back. So I'm like, I'll just stay here. And never have the humiliation of fucking, you know, calling 2 moving companies.
No, I think it just like it just takes more time here to get, you know, settled in, because I don't know, it's very inconsistent here. Things don't last as long. Projects a lot of them are short-lived here. So it's like a lot of times people have something good going on, but they might not have something good going on again for a year or longer. So I think it's like, and here it's too, I feel like they have like, here you have genuinely shitty people pretending to be nice. And New York is all like a lot of nice people who are just pretending to be assholes because they have to.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I feel like the people here, like, a lot of them obviously don't start off shitty, but after being here for a while, it's like I felt myself get stupider. I feel stupider than I was before I lived here.
I find that impossible.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. No, I feel like everyone here is like slowly getting stupider every day. Like every day you just talk to people and they're stupider than they were a week ago.
LA to me is a very sad place. Like I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and she's an actress and she's been out here for a bunch of years. And we talked the other day, and she's like, you know, I'm doing this other thing now, and you know, the acting is still important to me, but and you know, it's like fuck, man, it really is a sad. There's a lot of people out here.
It's sad as fuck.
Come out here with something in mind. It's a tremendous dream killer. And then when it doesn't happen, they have to kind of settle in. It doesn't mean they can't have a happy life.
And also those dreams are coming most of the time from like super deep-rooted places. Yeah. That is a huge compensation for like their childhood. So this is like not just someone coming out here wanting to be in a movie. This is someone like wanting to undo the horrors of their childhood. And it's all of these people here that like, it means so much for them to be like wanted and liked, and that it means like that's what they're dying for, is for people to like them and to want to have them around, to like respect them. Everyone's looking for like some type of validation, and there's such deep rooted validations that when it doesn't happen, which it takes a long time here, if people can last that long, some people still, you have people been out here for so many years, it's even more depressing.
Actors have it hard. Comedians can make money unless you're awful. You can make some money on the road, you know. Just
even if you're awful, you can still make money.
You can, yeah, but just don't drink. Like if you don't drink and you have a car, you can drive the headliners who are fucking alcohol. You know, that's how I made my living early. I drove fucking Levy, who I love, and Otto, who doesn't have a license or didn't have a you know, like that's how I.
Very true.
You learn to, like, I was moderately funny. I didn't deserve all the gigs I got, but I was a fun guy, and I got along with those guys. And Bobby could.
They could rely on you.
They could rely on me. Otto could do what he needed to. You know, Stan the Man. I've been thinking about so many of these guys lately, all these guys from when I started. So comedians can work, but actors, it's much harder to make a fucking living, man. I don't
Plus,
envy
comedians
actors.
have a lot of crossover. They have, like, they can go and do auditions for commercials, and they can do the things actors are doing, but they have a lot of other outlets. Yeah. And then even now, with, like, the way things are now, it's so different from when you started. Now, anyone can just make their own web series or skits online or anything and be able to develop themselves that way much easier.
Well, there's also a website where open micers can go, and I've had a lot of people go, how do I get on? And I really don't know what to tell them at this point because I'm 25 years removed. Yeah. So I say, just go online, you Google the fucking website, whatever it is, and it tells you where all the open mics in your area are. You know, again, I'm not saying when I was starting, but it's just a different system now.
Yeah. And you used to have to literally find people and ask them to.
Where's the open mic? Yeah. Every week at Rascals, Tuesday nights, you know, we're in the bar. It's funny, I just got contacted by a guy named Frank Del Pizzo, who I love because he helped me a lot when I was, I think he's married now with kids. He lives in Florida. But it's like all these people I haven't seen in a long time. You know, as you get older, you want to connect with people again.
I think so, for sure. Especially now that it's like, you know, so accessible to.
You're right.
It's like, why
Facebook.
not? Like, why would, like, if you think about someone, you can just literally Google them and almost anyone you can find.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, all these people I know that have fucking just dropped dead in the last few years. You start
Terrible.
But you start to get a grasp on your own mortality. Like, I mean, I'm 46. I don't feel like I'm in my 70s. But it's one of those things where I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I don't want. Why would I just think about Frank Del Pizzo? Why not say, hey, how are you? Like, he said hi to me, and I was so happy. Like, oh, fuck, man, Frank. Like,
exactly.
Why not reach out to these people or reach back to them and see how they're doing?
Yeah, and also you never know, too. Like, sometimes people are in, like, a place in their life where they really can't remember the past. They're just so focused on it now. So it's like, sometimes, like, when you can reminisce on those things, it's like, wow, like, it, like, gives you, like, perspective to, because, I mean, even for me, and, you know, I'm young, but just in, like, the time that we've known each other, my life has changed, like, so many different times.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, even me just thinking back 10 years ago, I'm like, fuck, like, that's like a totally different world and place. It can totally make me, like, you know, it can make me at least grateful for the bullshit that I'm dealing with now, you know, even though it sucks, you know?
Well, it's a decision you made. You're dealing with this now as a result of a smart decision you made. So it's almost like sometimes when I'm going through things, and it's easier to see in hindsight or it's easier for other people to see, but I'm going through things because I'm doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you know,
exactly.
There was a guy named Ron who I knew from let's just say a sober program. He died of AIDS. Big Dallas Cowboy fan. I have these really weird memories, but he used to say these are luxury problems. Like the problems I have now are luxury problems. Like I'm fucking annoyed that certain things in my comedy career aren't going as well as I want them to. But when I'm in a good place, I'm like, hey, dickhead.
Yeah.
When you were 20 or 18 and still wearing Kango hats and had no idea who you were, if someone would have fast forwarded and said in 25 years, you know, you're going to be annoyed about certain comedian things happening the night before you're going to Ozzy's house to shoot promos with him and Sharon for a gig you're doing together. After being a comedian for 25 years, you would have fucking signed up for that in a second.
Yeah. But, you know, the thing is if you would have known that, you would have never worked as hard to ever get there, you know? And that's like the thing, especially with you, because I know you well. Like, I know that a lot of your motivation a lot of times what you do as like self-deprecation is actually like a really twisted form of motivation. And it's not so much as like genuinely feeling that way. I feel like you kick yourself, like you're like the own alcoholic parent of the 60s to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like you're never going to be anything. You're a loser. You're going to grow up to be just like everybody else, you know, like you're like that alcoholic parent to yourself that's like beating their son who and then like, you know, has to like grow up and prove his father wrong.
Well, I love a good...
Except your dad's so nice and your family's so nice. So
Yes.
you're that person for yourself.
Exactly. Well, it's because I love a good shortcut. I love a good shortcut. But, so I stop myself from taking them, like even in the gym. So it's, like my trainers a lot of times will get, you know, like they're counting and they go, all right, 14. I'm like, no, it's only 13 or it's only 12.
Do you trick them or?
No, I'm honest with them and I don't let myself dope feel. Like a lot of times they want to give me less. They said we're going to do 15 and it'll be 12 and they'll go, okay, that's 14. I'll go, no, it's only 12. Like I'll do the extra ones I'm supposed to do. And it's a little
That's the one thing
thing
that's bad about girl trainers is the counting.
Yeah, they're not
sometimes they're off.
Yeah. We all know men are smarter, but no, I'm kidding. But you know, it's one of those things where I don't let myself dope fiend there, just because it's a symbolic thing. Like, no, fucking fat tits, do the 15 she told you to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't let myself dope fiend or with gigs, or that's probably why I kick myself. A lot of people don't understand the self-deprecation. They're like, what do you want people to feel sorry for you? No,
but it's very twisted. It is very twisted because there's so many better ways to motivate yourself. And I feel like I have that like tendency to do that too. But it's like, I don't know. Like for me, I feel like it's a little bit easier for me to realize that it's like a way that I'm trying to motivate myself. Because every time I go through some process where I just think I'm such a loser, I'm never going to do anything, always right after that, I do a bunch of shit.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I wish I could just do all of this stuff without having to fucking feel like shit for a month before I get it all done. Because it's like, it really is counterproductive. It's like, okay, you're doing it, but how much would you have got done if you would have just not spent the time hating yourself? And
how much more would I have enjoyed it? You know, one of the things about, like, when I'll say these negative things about myself, a big part of it is it's just an inner dialogue that I'm vocalizing. It's not like I'm creating all these things. Like Jim Gaffigan, I don't know if you know who Jim is. He's a very, very popular comic, and he does this funny thing where, and he's been doing it for 20 years. He'll do a joke about Hot Pockets, and then he'll do this thing like he'll say Hot Pockets. They go, oh no, he's not going to knock Hot Pockets. Like he's doing this little weird audience voice or this little weird inner dialogue, and that's what his is.
Yeah.
And mine comes out with like, you know, blah blah blah. Boy, you tripped on that, you fucking zilch.
Yeah.
You tripped on that with your fucking appendix scar. So all I'm doing is forcing everyone else to listen to the shit that I have to hear all day.
Yeah.
But it's not like something I'm like writing or creating.
No, I definitely don't think that. No, it's definitely, I mean, you obviously, it's coming from a real place. But I feel that, you know, to some degree, it's kind of become more of a habit than a genuine dialogue that's happening. Because you can't genuinely feel that way if you were to actually look at the situations that you're in. When you're standing there, you're hosting your show, even though you have that inner dialogue of, oh my God, my fucking shirt looks awful. I look awful right now.
Well, part of it is, too, it makes me laugh. Like, that kind of negative stuff about my dumb shirt looks like it's having a stroke. No, like, that stuff really genuinely makes me laugh. Like, just to take yourself apart in a way, to me, is funny. Like, it's just a part of the silly stuff that we notice about ourselves. Like, Woody Allen was kind of like a nebbishy Jew. Like, you know, he would pick apart. And it's a different vibe than that, but it's just the way my mind works, and I notice the negative. But do you think
at some point in your life, do you feel like as you get older, like do you think it's something that is like going to happen for your whole life? Do you think that it needs to happen for your whole life?
It has become, like you said, more of a habit, and a part of me just thinks that my mind now works that way, but it doesn't need to anymore. Like many years ago when Barry Katz was my manager, Barry said to me, because I used to always have to get myself in a negative space to be safe when I went on. They're going to fucking hate me. This way I was cutting down the risk. And he goes, you know, there's going to come a day where you're going to just walk in and go on stage and be funny. And you're not going to need to feel this. And he was right. That was a very smart thing Barry said to me back in, you know, the fucking earlier mid-90s, maybe 96. But he's right. That part has happened. I don't need to psych myself out. It's going to be terrible. Like I've grown a lot in that area. I know it's going to be pretty good, or hey, if it's not bad, I'll live.
So basically that's going to happen again with all of the other things that you're doing now too, because there's a lot of things that, I mean, you're super comfortable as a comedian, and there's other things that you venture into, like especially stuff with, you know, TV. That was like your first thing because you weren't happy with how you looked.
Right.
But now that you look good, now that you look great, you're like, there's kind of no reason to go and be like, I'm going to look disgusting. This is going to be awful. I'm going to be a zilch. So it's like, okay, now that's like disappearing. And I do think at some point, if you allow it to, that dialogue isn't going to be before, it doesn't need to be before anything.
You know how there's something they talk about too. It's also in, again, Sober Life, where they talk about how we take these awful things and we get a misshapen pleasure out of them.
Yeah.
Like a misshapen pleasure out of feeling bad. And it becomes a comfortable thing. It's like a security blanket. It's safe and comfortable. It's like people who stay in an abusive relationships.
It's also, you're controlling the bad feeling. It's not an outside bad feeling. It's not like you're feeling good and you're allowing someone else to hurt you. You're eliminating that and you're controlling the hurt. So it's like, it feels good, but more so it's like no one feels good to be hurt, but it feels good to know how you're going to be hurt. It knows if you're good, if like, you don't know if someone's going to hit you and you don't know if they're going to hit you where in your body. It's a lot scarier than if you're like, all right, you're going to punch me right here. Then you know where to expect it.
Well, I told you when I was a kid, you know, we all daydream when we're kids. My daydream used to be, I was detached. And in my daydream, I was hanging out with Jimmy Robinson. Did I tell you that?
Mm-mm.
Jimmy Robinson was my fantasy friend. He was me, though. He looked just like me, but he had a cape. And he, you know, I probably based him on Will Robinson from Lost in Space, who I think I had a crush on in my young homosexual boyhood. So it was Jimmy Robinson, and me and Jimmy Robinson together hated Jimmy Norton. Hated him. We would always picture him being on a bike. Like, we just hated Jimmy Norton. And I don't know why.
Oh, I hate this story.
I know, but I don't know who I was in the story. But I know that I related to Jimmy Robinson, and we hated Jimmy Norton so much. And I'm not sure why. But that weird shit has always been there. I for some reason, have this really weird vision. You know, a tricycle. Jimmy Robinson standing on the back of a tricycle just being cool. And us not liking Jimmy Norton. But I don't know what that's from or where that started.
Hold on.
I'm getting a hug. Yes, I don't know. But I mean, that stuff goes back a long way. And I'm not sure what caused it or what started it. It's no one's fault. Because my parents were always very nice to me. They're not perfect. But it wasn't like I got beaten up at home.
No, see, that's the thing is that, I mean, that's definitely not the case. It's not necessarily, you know, it's not that your parents did it, you know? It's just like, I don't know. I think it could just be social, you know?
And by the way, if everybody listening could see Jen's relaxed posture right now, you'd become as enraged as I am. We're sitting in my hotel room. There's 2 beds. I'm sitting on one, all ready for the interview. And Jen is fucking laying back on the bed with her arm behind her. Miss Casual. It's really upsetting.
You know, it's so funny. You're not even the first person to say that.
That's good, though. It's good to be. No, you should be comfortable.
Like, not even the first person to say that. My brother was like, I'm trying to pretend we're in a studio and you're fucking laying on the bed.
Yeah, maybe that way is better, though. Maybe your way is better.
I don't know. I mean, well, you know what? The thing is that, yeah, I'm more comfortable doing the podcast that I haven't been preparing as much. I felt like when I mean, I could just be me being lazy and me making up some excuse, probably, somewhat.
Well, you don't need to prepare for me. You know me so well. I mean,
no, I know, of course. But that's like the thing is I've definitely been more comfortable with the idea because I kind of felt like I was composing each one as like a full, like needed to have all these different like ideas in it. And I'm like, you know what? Like, it's just, I can't even listen to the guest if I have notes because I'm like looking at them, but I'm really looking at my notes. Like, so I just prefer to not.
Do you know what would be a good idea then if you're going to do it that way? Is buy the headset. They have these weird little headsets that, you know, they go on and they look like a fucking airline pilot. The little mouthpiece goes in the front. Yeah. And you can both wear them and just sit somewhere comfortably. And then you're not even holding the mic. You're just having a talk. That's a great idea. There's nothing worse than giving an idea and saying that's a great idea at the end of it. I should let you do that part. So
great idea.
I did both of our parts, which is pretty unnecessary. But yeah, it seems like, it seems like you're comfortable.
Yeah. Especially, you're telling me this story and I'm just like lounged out.
Yeah, that's the way you should be, though. I mean,
but
there's no need to be stiff.
Yeah.
You go into Joe Rogan's studio, and Joe has an amazing podcast. I mean, again, it's a studio vibe, but it's very comfortable. He does the reason. No one's a better talker than Joe Rogan. Carolla's good, but Rogan could talk for fucking 3 hours about anything. Tables. Really good. But it's a relaxed vibe in the studio. You don't feel like there's a goal or a place to go.
Yeah.
A destination. And that's the nice part about it. You just let it kind of go, and wherever it winds up, it winds up. Sometimes boring, sometimes interesting. I'm sure, like, whenever I talk, I think half the times I'm boring. 80% of the times maybe, and 20% of the times I'm interesting.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I find you always interesting, but, I mean, that's probably my ratio on the podcast. I'm probably boring half the time, but that's fine.
I've never listened to it.
I know.
I don't think so.
It's fine. It's okay.
See,
I know you don't have to listen.
No, I don't listen. It's funny. I don't listen to or watch anything. You did get me into American Horror Story, and I do like that very much.
Did you watch this new?
I'm only on season 3, so don't spoil it. But I like the.
The witches.
Yeah, I like it. I actually really like it. I'm not scared.
You get so weird about having things ruined. I remember when I was like, "Oh, did you?" I'm like, "We saw Kill Bill." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, like Kill Bill 2." And you're like, "I don't know what happens in that." I'm like, "I don't know. She kills Bill." And you got so upset. You were like, "Why'd you ruin it for me? Yeah. Why would you tell me the ending like that?" I'm like, "It's the title of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Of course that's what happens."
Well, I don't like stupid Travis from the radio show. This is what he didn't mean to do it. We were talking about, this is going to be, for anyone listening right now, this is going to be a spoiler for Homeland. So if you don't want to hear that, fast forward or just turn this off. I've watched the first 2 seasons. I'm probably not going to watch season 3 because it annoyed me, and I kind of bailed on it. But he goes, I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't like Brody's storyline." And Travis goes, "Yeah, well, they hung him." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you knew they killed him. He's dead." I'm like, "I didn't know that." He goes, "Yes, you did. That was the end of season 2. I'm like, "No, it wasn't, stupid. I would have known if they fucking hung the guy." And then he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's right. It was season 3. So he really blew it for me. But again, he didn't mean to do it. He was so apologetic.
Oh, my God.
But that bag of shit really blew a good fuck. That's a big one. That was a big spoiler. So,
that's like me. I see the big moment of every show that I haven't
big moment?
watched.
What's a big moment? I'm so happy that
like in The Wire, the only part of The Wire I've ever seen is Omar getting shot, and it was totally random that I saw that. But it's like that happens to me with every show. I watch every crucial moment before.
Well, by now with the stuff online, you can't not know what happens to certain. There's certain guys on The Wire you don't know what's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
Omar getting shot was a pretty iconic fucking moment.
Yeah, I'm pretty far behind too. It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah. It's still my favorite show. I hate now even being a white person enjoying The Wire because that's almost so trite now. Oh, you're just a white guy who likes The Wire. I liked it before it was fucking popular.
Yeah, it's so true. White people love dropping The Wire to seem
really
cultured.
Do. Yeah, because it makes them seem like, wow, I really like fucking not just the fluff black shows, but I like the real shit. But I liked it before then.
It's so true. It's like always some skinny white guy talking about it. I've never heard a black person talking about The Wire. No, my writing teacher.
Yeah, I'll tell you who talked about it. Keith Robinson the other night. We had a nice chat about The Wire. How it never got nominated for awards. That really is.
Yeah.
If you don't know a lot about Hollywood, watch The Wire and then watch like House. and House would get nominated and
like
The Wire
countless
wouldn't,
times
for everything. And if that doesn't tell you what you need to know about the dumb motherfuckers that run this business.
See, but now they're being even opposite now. Now they're going so out of their way to try to like purposely make things diverse in a way that it's like, I don't know. I just feel like now it's becoming pretty opposite. Now I feel like there's like so much like Beyonce worship. Like that's like the thing that has to happen so that Hollywood and the music industry doesn't seem racist. They're going to worship Beyonce now.
They worship, it's a really weird thing, but the people like the black people that get worshipped like that are always safe. And they can be like guys like Jay-Z or hardcore rappers. I don't mean
Oprah,
but they're not guys like Farrakhan or these other guys that say really awful, true things about white people. And I know a lot of Jews don't like Farrakhan. I certainly understand why. But those are the people that don't get, it's always the guy, or it's a guy like Al Sharpton, who's such a fucking clown.
Yeah.
That he's not really a threat to anything.
Yeah, exactly. He's like
so
a spectacle.
Transparent.
A lot of them, like Beyonce, she's like a spectacle. She's like this image, and she's like perfect into this image, and it's like, yeah, it's like all of, like these iconic people, they're very safe.
And she's pop culture. Like, Britney Spears gets the same thing. And look, she's talented. Beyonce's talented.
But do you think that, like, no, the Beyonce worship is like more than other celebrities, I think. Like, people really think she's like.
I guess she's part of a power couple, too. It's like Angelina and Brad.
Yeah, you're right. People are
couple.
obsessed with power couples.
Yeah, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. And people love a good power. I want to be part of a power couple. I don't care who it's with. Travolta and Norton. I'd fucking grab my ankles for old Johnny Boy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I need to be invited to something.
Yes, to our wedding in certain states. Yeah. No, I'm not gay. I don't people think I'm coming out. I'm not gay.
Did you watch the interview?
No, I didn't see it yet.
Oh, so I won't spoil it for you.
Yeah, please don't. I do want to see it, though. We interviewed Seth and James Franco right before, like when it was supposed to come out. And Seth Rogen.
I love Seth.
I do, too. He's great.
Funny.
But he was you could tell he was a little off. Not off like he wasn't funny. He was trying to be funny. But you could tell he was disturbed by something. And then all of this shit happened and they yanked it. I think he probably had some kind of a forewarning. That
they probably knew, for sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't he though? Like, I think he directed it.
Seth? I don't think he directed it.
I have to look it up. But when I was watching the credits in the beginning, I was like blown away. I thought that Seth directed it.
No.
It wasn't. No, it was two directors, but I believe he's one of them. And that's why.
Director of the interview. See, Jen, that's what you do. You just fucking obnoxious.
And then did it take the C-Gen? That's what you do, like before?
No, and then nachos just popped up. It's just shit. Siri can fuck itself. Siri can go fuck itself.
Yeah, I know. You're just wasting your battery for no reason to have that option.
Well, I
available.
have the 6 Plus.
I know. Your hands can't even hold it, Jim.
I know.
Your hands are so little.
Yeah, I know. I have little hands. It's so
Aww.
humiliating. Sam, I'm going to talk about Sam, but he has giant fucking chimp thumbs.
He does?
Sam from our show. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's a big double jointed Sam Roberts. He's got fucking big, long, ugly hands. So he loves the 6 Plus. But I'm like, look at your fucking thumbs.
The worst
primate.
is like when, like when you're texting, I've used it, or even if you're like Instagram or something and you have to hit that arrow in the corner.
Yeah.
I can never reach it.
You can shrink the screen.
Oh, but then what's the point of having the gigantic screen?
Well, just for that one moment. You shrink the screen for one moment.
What do you mean? Show me.
You didn't know you could do that?
I don't have one. Don't make fun of me.
Here's Jenny C. Look, watch. You go like this. Double click like that, and it shrinks.
Oh, so that you can reach it.
And then it pops back up.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
You're Jenny C.
I am. I'm Jenny C.
You know whose number I still don't have in there?
Who?
Ozzy O.
Aww.
I still want to get Ozzy's phone number.
You don't have his phone number yet?
No, I don't.
They haven't given it to you?
I haven't. No.
Oh, you always have to go through everyone?
Yeah. I'm working on it, though. I'm trying to be casual about it. Because I know if I said to him, can I have your number, he'd give it to me. Like, I know he would. But I don't want to.
But what if he hesitates and then that'd be awkward? Sure, why not?
What's yours? I'll call you. Oh, no.
Oh, that's bad. And then he has Sharon call you from her phone.
Yeah, I know. But it'll pop up Sharon because I already have hers. I have to figure out a slick way to get it. That's my goal, to get Ozzy's number.
Would you and Jimmy Robinson be hating Jimmy Norton right now if you know that Jimmy Norton is getting a call from Sharon Osbourne?
Because in the fantasy, Jimmy Robinson would say to me, see, they're not calling Jimmy Norton.
Oh, stop.
We hated Jimmy Norton. Stupid Jimmy Norton.
Oh, don't say that.
It's probably because, like, that fucking one woman. I had a dream about that woman.
But by the way, that is such a good idea for like a show or something, as like a side thing in a show where the character is talking to another version of themselves who hates the real version of themselves. That's so good.
I had a cape.
Maybe not the cape in the show, but then again, exactly. Fuck Jimmy Robinson and his cape.
Well, it wasn't Jimmy Robinson's fault. Cape. He was the good part of me.
Aw, no, he wasn't. He was a jerk off. He taught you all these bad self-hating habits. He's a jerk.
And then
he's not the good side.
There was the one woman who I told you I got caught staring at her. I had all these weird things with women when I was a kid.
I know.
One woman burned my eye with a cigarette.
Just as a kid, Jim?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it started there. She burned my eye with a cigarette. She didn't mean to. She was standing with a cigarette, and I ran into it, and my eye got burned. And then there was the one woman who caught me staring at her pubic hair. And
wait, why were you seeing her pubic hair? What
we were at a pool.
Busting out of?
Me and my buddy Tony were at the pool.
Oh my
and
God.
She was laying back, and I could see like the mound of pussy hair in her bathing suit. This is fucking 1974, 75. And I said that I was such a bad whisperer. I said to Tony, I can see hairs. I can see hairs. And she shot up and she goes, what did you say? And I'm like, I didn't say anything. And stupid Tony goes, he said he can see hairs. And she looked down and she goes, you little fucking pig. And she humiliated me. I'll never forget that scolding. I was so embarrassed. I think I ran away and fell and skinned my knees. No. I could be just combining two stories.
Jim, oh my God.
But I remember that.
But then again, that's very justified. I mean, come on. There's a reason why people don't have bushes anymore.
Yeah.
You can't just go to a pool with your bush fucking exploding.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
Come on. You're a little boy.
Yeah, what do you want me to say? Control your twat, lady.
Exactly. Fuck that lady, too.
I agree, but I didn't know back then. She was a big adult, and I was just a fucking little pube noticer. Just a little crotch surfing boy. I wish I remembered more of my childhood because there's so much weird shit there.
Oh, God. I wish you remembered more normal stuff. You only remember the weird, creepy shit.
I know.
What is with that, Jim?
I don't remember.
You totally blocked out all of the nice stuff.
I know. I remember kicking this girl, Sue, in the vagina, and I think she peed her pants. So she stole my tire.
You kicked her so hard she peed her pants?
Yeah, I remember. I wasn't sure if it was blood or piss, but it was like the front of her pants got all wet, and bigger kids got mad at me for that. I was pushing a tire and she was like the tomboy, so she took it and I just kicked her right in the pussy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was probably, I was third grade or second grade. I remember being in a rage at my friend Chuck and throwing bricks at him as he went into his house.
Bricks?
Yeah, bricks. But he closed his screen door.
Fucking Jimmy Robinson. I feel like Jimmy Robinson was behind all of this.
I know, he was fun. And you know the sounds a brick makes when it hits a storm door? Like, it's really ugly. And I remember my mother screaming at some woman for slapping me in the face. Like, some woman heard me saying dirty things and she slapped my face. My mother marched me to her apartment and screamed at the woman and made her come down the stairs. I wish I could remember that one more.
Whoa.
And yelled at her for touching her son. I don't remember what happened.
And I know you probably played the victim so cute. You were probably in the hallway cursing it up, being a prick. Maybe. And then came home and you're like, she hit me.
Maybe. That's probably very accurate.
Come on. I know you too well, Jim. I know how you flip shit.
I know. I'd love to interview my parents and ask them stories from my childhood.
God, you should.
I'd rather have somebody else do it. I'm too embarrassed.
I'll do it.
Too embarrassed. Like, there was the one friend.
No, your mom would only say nice stories.
I know.
And then your dad would say like one bad story, but it would be like, oh yeah, like he stole some pennies or whatever. Like they think you're a really good boy.
No, they know I was a creep.
They don't want to accept it.
Yeah, they knew. I think they blocked it out too.
Aww.
Yeah, I have these weird fleeting memories. Weird shit happening in basements. But not with
like
adults.
What type of stuff?
I don't know. Just something was wrong.
I feel like it was really horrible to grow up in the 70s. I feel like it was a really like fucked up time to be a kid because so much of the morals up until that point had got dropped in the 60s. Like with the whole hippie movement, so many things like traditional family life of the 50s had totally deteriorated 10 years prior. So then the 70s, like I feel like so many people that I knew from the 70s, they grew up as children, were so confused because there was so much stuff that had been sheltered. And then all these people that are in like their 40s now, they're kind of like, they were exposed to too much weird shit at a young age that would have never been around children. Not that like there wasn't always creepy, pedophile shit going on too. But
Hey.
Oh no. Not that there was always like, not that wasn't always going on, but I feel like in the 70s it was finally like kids were allowed to go and like do shit.
Right.
So then they all started molesting each other and stuff because before kids would get locked away. They weren't allowed to do all that shit.
I don't know. I think it happened before them, but not as much. I think, as free love happened in the 70s, you and your buddies would get together and blow each other and you fucking kiss girls' ass cheeks. I'm always amazed when people didn't have sexual childhoods. And again, it was never an adult. It was never. I never feel victimized by an older person.
I actually find it shocking when people have very sexual childhoods because I didn't at all.
I was usually the little instigator.
Oh, you were the little pervert.
Yes, I was.
Aww.
I was dirty.
Always, even when you were little.
Yeah.
Aww.
What can I do for you?
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Creepy little fucking pervert.
Aww.
Dick sucker.
Aww.
Yeah. It's hard to. I see pictures of myself in childhood, And it's kind of hard to marry.
But imagine that's what whenever I see pictures of you when you're little, I can't even like believe the stories that you tell me because I just see the little cute boy.
Like I remember, I'll show you a picture as we're chatting. There was, if I can find it, I don't even know if it's on my phone, but I was already, like when I fell and cracked my head open, I was already very sexually active.
And then you feel that really just like
but I remember
it there, just made a lasting impact.
I just remember running and being scared this day because the kid that I used to blow was with another boy, and I was just scared. I just turned around and ran and tripped and cracked my head open, and I was about 5. Like when you look at this picture of me with my head cracked open, like you see a little bandage on my head, but I was blowing people by that age. It's just really weird.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
And you know what? I also feel like you like remember it, you know. You kind of like remember yourself now as then, as opposed to like your mentality then.
Right.
A lot of times when you talk about these things, you talk about them as you now.
Right.
But there's no way that the little boy was thinking like that. It's like, because, you know, you can change your memories through your present day. And that's like, that's like a fact. They've done all types of studies on people saying their memories, and then they do certain things and have them say memories again.
Right.
And they literally change their memories. And they genuinely remember that as the way it happened. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's so influenced by your daily life now, what your memories are, you know, except for like some traumatic events. But even those can be changed in your brain. So I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that you were.
That to me is always because of the head bandage I'm wearing. And I remember the day it happened. I remember seeing the older boy and his friend. I just got scared. I was very scared of him. And I remember turning and running and just tripping and cracking my head open on the corner of the concrete stair. Oh. So you know what I mean? And there's a photo there with a date on it, 1973. I was born in 68. I don't know if there's a month on this, but if there is, I'll know exactly how old I was. Like, this was October of 73.
Wow.
So I was born in July. I was a little over 5 when that happened. Not that the fucking decor doesn't give it away. The fucking 70s awful vibe. We had some really shitty wallpaper back then.
No, but that was really in.
It really was. Right?
That was hip.
The Nortons were very fashionable people.
I know. Look at your little pajamas.
Yes, I was quite a cute lad.
You were. You're still cute.
Yeah, no, but in a different way.
No.
I had no fat tits back then.
No, you're still cute. In a boyish, cute way.
I have to tinkle, Jennifer.
All right. Well, we're about done here, too.
How long do we talk for?
It's about 40-something.
Oh, my God. Really?
I know. We could just talk all day, right?
Yeah. I really would not have known that. Although, you know, listening.
Although your bladder, has a better timer than
it does,
everything. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for doing my podcast.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay. You said thanks soon. Twice.
So, I'm double thankful.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Hi, Chip.
Hi.
Anything you want to say, Chip, before we go?
Just check out. I have a podcast coming, and
you don't have a podcast?
It's gonna be on Fox, and I got a bunch of other stuff happening.
Chip, why are you always gonna steal my shit?
I have a podcast.